He said it was over here, but the rock's over here. Yes, yes, indeed. Look at its beauty. There it is, my retirement fund for my GameStop stocks. They said it didn't exist. They said only the angry video game nerd was going to get rich off of it, but I'll show them. GameStop will make a killing. Plumbers don't wear ties. Welcome back from the underwhelm. My heart. Oh, my heart. Oh. I hope you weigh the plumb the depths, because this one's for the toilets. Plumbers don't wear ties, and the notorious video game that the angry video game nerd would skyrocket into popularity and existence would get a quote-unquote definitive edition thanks to limited one games. Honestly, the fact that this abomination was put together is weird, because it's a terrible game, quite honestly. There are billions of other games that I think were way worthy of getting a modern release over this abomination. This abomination was a April Fool's joke sale on Limited One games, and Can't Go Without Salad, at least that was a fun game, even though it was like barely an hour long in that. This is an atrocity. This is weird. And like, it's weird how... Here, let me get the case. It's weird how... I think it was on the back. Let's see. No, it doesn't advertise on the back. I know somewhere in, like, the, when they announced the release and stuff of this, a lot of the terminology they were using were talking about how this was, like, the first visual novel in the West, which is, yeah, like, that's stretching it. I mean, it is a choose-your-own adventure story game, but a visual novel, I think, stretching it. More like an interactive movie, because, like, it's all voice acted and everything, and, I mean, while it doesn't really have a lot of, like, moving stuff while using more, like, actual images of real people with really weird filters and effects over them sometimes, I don't know, like, calling it a visual novel feels really weird. Now, I mean, no visual novels with voice acting, but I guess what it is it just, it doesn't have that kind of same vibe, because a visual novel usually has, like, a lot of text and stuff, and it just, I don't know. It feels like a weird, gimmicky idea of trying to sell it to young people who don't know what the fuck this is, or getting intimidated by the the first visual novel in Western territories. Oh wow, oh shoot, dang. I mean, I wouldn't consider this a visual novel personally. It is just, I mean, this was basically a light porno, basically, Willy. I mean, the original version, which, to get into that, actually had a nude code, which is not in this, thus making it not a definitive edition. Because a definitive edition is supposed to have everything, which it doesn't, so technically that's false advertising. But anyway, I mean, it's not really a shock, because there was no way they were going to be able to get away putting that kind of thing in a console version of this. The 3DO had no standards. I'm not even sure if the ESRB actually existed during the 3DO. I'm not sure. If it did, it still didn't have any real standards on the fucking thing. But anyway, I guess we need to explain what this abomination is. So, it's basically a choose-your-own adventure game, interactive movie thing. I would say it's a lot more closer to a full motion video, except without the actual motion portion. More like slideshow is more like it, but it doesn't really like have a depth story that like a visual novel does, like, which is why I feel really odd with that kind of labeling of the game. The story's about a plumber whose mother wants him to get married, and a girl who I believe was named Jane, I believe her name was Jane. But anyway, she's trying to get an office job. The plumber's trying to just go about his life, and basically, depending on your actions, you can get into weird romances, or dead ends, or bad endings, and all other kinds of stupid shit. Like, it's not really very funny or humorous in my opinion. It's more like more of a curiosity on how did this even get okayed, let alone actually made. Now, there is something new in this version. The Plumb the Depths, and lots of extra materials, like scripts, interview. Like they literally interviewed the angry video game nerd for this shit. Like they got all kinds of crap. Like if you are a big plumbers don't wear ties person, there's a lot of extra material you can get unlocked in interviews and things. So you definitely get a whole bunch of extra stuff. Now, to unlock all this stuff, you have to play the Plumb the Depths. Now, Plumb the Depths, you can keep playing as many times as you want. It is a really lazy maze. So, like, if you ever played, like, not played, but necessarily, like, watched, like, the old Windows 95 maze screensaver, it's basically like that. Like, you know, you just dropped in this maze. The maze is the same every single time, and the angry CEO guy, he chases you in the maze. You can find plungers and shoot them with him, and they temporarily get with him, but he will respawn somewhere and go about chasing you down again. They're all a limited amount of plungers. So if you're not very good at basically outwinning him and shooting him with plungers while trying to unlock all the extras, you will have to play Plumbing the Depths again, which you can keep playing. Like you're not limited to how many times you can go in and search for stuff. So you have as much attempts you want to go in and unlock stuff. You can only carry 3 plungers with you, however, so knowing the maze in advance can help you last longer in gathering everything. But basically, you can just keep trying over and over again until you actually get all the stuff you want. And while they do have a number of interviews with different people, most of it really involves this pro wrestler lady who plays Jane in the game. She has several videos, so she clearly had a lot to how should I say, to add into this. I mean, they even made a new intro which kind of spoofs with a how to say, a pinch of feministness in it, which I don't know, could come off as cringy or not. I don't know. I don't think they're really that serious in it, but it's kind of funny considering how the original is a lot more sleazy. But either way, they're both in the game. You can get the original and new one there. But other than her, they have several people for Limited One Games. I mean, like Josh has a video, and there's also a video with Doug in it and that. Like I said, there's angry video game nerd and stuff. Honestly, that stuff's probably the more interesting stuff in this. This game is very, very terrible because all the paths and endings are just, it's really just stupid. Honestly, I don't. This is not an easy review to make because this game has like no real substance. It's just making choices. not even logical choices. Sometimes the logical thing just gets you a dead end. Sometimes it's stupid shit that moves the story forward. I believe the good ending was one of the last things I actually got, just because some of the stuff was just stupid on how to move forward in some of the things. Honestly, I feel like other than historic people in the gaming industry, the only real people that are gonna want to play this are people who want easy, like, platinum trophy and achievement type shit. Because this game is incredibly easy, because basically one trophy is devoted to actually playing this fucking garbage game. Every other fucking trophy has to do with fucking the extras slash plumbing depths unlocks. It's stupid, honestly. It feels weird when the majority, like, over the majority of the fucking trophies are for basically not playing the game at all. Like, it's kind of fucking a joke. I mean, you think some of them would be devoted to some of the bad endings or the weird choices you can get, but no, they're not. And honestly, there's a few things in the game that I was curious in comparing to the 3DO version. I plan on trying to do some of those, but I can't guarantee if I'll do the whole thing. Because suffering the whole thing again might be kind of painful to me. I didn't actually experience any real problems. I, like, unlocked all the trophies and unlocks and stuff. There was some online reports, supposedly video 20 from the galleries. Apparently on PS5 it doesn't work. It crashes the game, supposedly. But I played the PS4 version and it played fine. Otherwise, I didn't encounter any actual problems with this game. Honestly, I feel like this review is going to be more of inserting additional information about weird crap between this version and the original. Now, like I said, the original had a uncensored mode, a nude mode, which was removed in this. You cannot activate that in this version, which does technically make this not a definitive edition because it does not actually include all the stuff. And again, realistically, I mean, I'm not arguing that should. It just, I probably wouldn't have used definitive edition to describe the game. I would have probably just, I don't know, the Plumber Wises edition or something. I don't know. Just it's I get why it's not there. There's no way the SRP is going to okay it, regardless of how fucking old it is. I know, like, nudity has become a lot more open in mature games, but I don't think they would okay plumbers don't wear tie, because I mean it seriously was basically a light porno, basically, on the 3DO. I mean, let's be honest. That was basically the selling point. It was a light porno. And by light, I mean, like, it doesn't really feature super serious, like, nudity sex shit. But it obviously catered to a audience of horny people. Because it has scenes for that kind of shit. And I mean, honestly, that's kind of one of the reasons I think it's just shocking limited one games even touch this thing. Because they do show a very progressive streak, which is kind of weird that they would touch this game. But to be fair, they've bought, like, booby anime games too. But a lot of that had to do with Doug, and I don't know if Josh would continue to do anything like that, because, you know, Doug's not part of Limited One anymore, and Josh became an ever-growing cranky person on the internet. He's became the EA of the limited companies, which is kind of sad, you know. It's kind of sad watching a company become the villain, you know, but you know, that's a whole different subject matter. Anyway, Plumbers Don't Ties, it's a terrible game. It's horrible, you know. I honestly just don't know what to say, because it's one of those situations where it's literally, like, barely a fucking game. You make some choices, you hope for the right thing to continue forward, and if you fuck up, you just do it again. You know, that's really it. I mean, it's not a whole lot to it. It's a really short game. You'll get through it pretty fast if you actually want to play this abomination. You can get through it really fast. Now, look. As I always say, I think there is some kind of value always in all games. And I mean, as much as this is a terrible game and shit, there is interesting history about it, because these kind of games using real people and actors and stuff in this kind of thing was really new stuff as the CD gaming era began. And it does have history in that forte. So that's not to say there isn't any kind of value to the existence of this game. But it is an overpriced piece of shite. As for like some kind of notable thing just for like existence, like this game doesn't deserve to be how much it's getting sold for. I cannot recommend this game any more than like $5 for that. This game doesn't deserve to be a lot of money, honestly. It is just, I mean, it's not even that funny to me personally. It's really just an amazing thing to think it even ever existed. Now, the good news is this game is actually on GOG, which means you could wait for a GOG sale and get this game DRM free for cheap. That would be my actual recommendation. Now, if you're a Steam person on PC, well, I got bad news for you. So, originally the game was announced to be on Steam back when all this shit was first planned out. Apparently, July 18th, 2024, officially from Josh on his Twitter, quote, "Unfortunately, Steam deemed it pornographic and blocked the release. There are hundreds of hentai games with actual nudity on Steam, but they determined this game was a step too far. Keep in mind that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a less titillating than a Sears catalog." Now, I think the important thing doesn't stand in this. Oh, and unquote, by the way, after the catalog. Anyway, I think the important thing to note here is, the thing is, this is real people. Now, you can make an argument, obviously, on whether it's okay or not. I think it should be okay. If you're going to allow adult games to be on there, then allow adult games to be on it. Steam has been very wishy-washy about fucking adult games on the website. I'm not going to defend Steam at all. They've been inconsistent and stupid. But I would assume the reason is because these are real people, where everything else is drawings and models. So I think Steam doesn't want an association of actual people pornography things. Because like I said, this is basically a light pornography movie, basically, in a video game format, is essentially what Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is. Hence why it had a uncensored mode in its original version. So, it's funny that they had to want to GOG to sell this on PC. Now, here's the kicker, though. So, as I said, my recommended price is $5 for history. But for the game, it doesn't feel like worth more than $5. Really, like, honestly, it's just like little to no value in the game in itself, outside of the historical value of when it came out and the angle it tried to do. Because I mean, admittedly, as we can look at and laugh at it looking like a PowerPoint presentation, like I said, this kind of thing with like real actors was a newer thing as CD-based gaming began. But the point is, digitally on all platforms, GOG, PSN, and Switch, Xbox is not out yet. And as far as I can tell, I'm not sure why. I would assume there's probably a good chance it might be for similar reasons, possibly. there could be the possibility Microsoft is also possibly blocking it. But as far as I can tell, I cannot find anything. If I do, I will put that in the video. But this is a $19.99 game with no sale or anything. It's $20. There are so many things I could recommend way over this fucking game for $20. I don't normally try to pull that card because I normally like to think most games have some kind of stick value for the player base and the type of game and stuff like that. I mean, this game fails on everything, even with old, like, I could look up old fucking 90s hentai pornography games and have a way better time. Just saying. So, I mean, as a pornography game, it fails. As a comedy game, I mean, it's weird and stupid. Comedy is subjective, to be fair, but I don't think too many people are gonna laugh too much at this game. But there could be some. That's probably the best thing you would get out of this game is some chuckles at the severe random shit that happens in this game. That's the best thing you can get out of this. As a serious story, no, it's a failure. That as a game, like, I mean, it's a choose your own adventure thing. There's literally nothing else going on in this game other than the plumb the depths thing they added into this version, which is a generic maze wandering thing to unlock bonuses about the game's history. Not really much of a revolutionizing gameplay mode, you know. But you might ask, Atticusmj, you're a physical collector or a physical buyer, or you like to own physical stuff. And be honest, you know, honestly, if I knew this was gonna end up on GOG, I would have fucking passed and just bought it on there for sale, because I seriously, I got this for historical purposes. I mean, obviously, I watched the Angry Video Game Nerds video back in the day, and, you know, it's pretty notorious because of that. And I got basically for that, and I imagine a lot of people did. And I can tell you, when I played through the game, what a fucking joke. It's amazing this game even got this kind of fucking modernization version. Again, so many more games deserve this more than this thing. But how much did Limited Run games sell the physical version? Well, it's been a pretty usual price if you're pretty familiar with them. It's now usually slightly upscaled, $34.99. As we've said countless times, $19.99 is a fair bare minimum physical release price. $34.99, you know, of course they can't be happy enough with $29.99. No, they gotta slap in a few extra bucks on top of that. Now, initially when this Abomination came out, people were scalping the fuck out of it. Like, it was pretty up there in price. It was. Luckily, once Video Games Plus got surplus to sale, the price had plummeted. So luckily for you, if you for some reason are interested in buying one of these physical definitive editions, you'll be able to get between $34 to $40 on your chosen platform. Don't recommend it. And if for some reason you're interested in the original 3DO version, well, that's anywhere from $150 to $400 depending on loose and cribbed. That at least has some actual collector's value to it. But as a game, like, if you're not buying this to either make money down the road, because who knows? I don't know if the definitive edition will ever be worth anything, to be honest. I mean, it's obviously probably has way more copies in circulation than the original 3DO version, so who the fuck knows? Honestly, though, I'm seriously telling you, if you have any interest to want to actually play this abomination of a game, wait for the GOG version to go on a sale, and buy that. The console version, you're not missing anything but trophies and achievements. If you're buying the Switch version, you're not missing anything at all. I could not recommend this game at all personally. Like I said, historical value is all it really has. And that's it. Anyway, I'm sorry this was a pretty long ranted video, but honestly, it's just like, there's not a whole lot to go on about the game. Like I said, it's just basically a choose your adventure game with some bonuses slapped on top and the nude mode whipped out of it, and that's it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I again apologize for the more longer rants in this. There probably will be tidbit things about the original release in this, spread it out into the video, so we'll see how that goes in editing. But either way, I deeply apologize for you watching this video. Please dislike this video. Thank you. Until next time, for the love of humanity, don't go down the toilet.